God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 19 of Your Journey is Not Over. My name is Tanya Pearson Randolph. This is my own personal journey, and the expressions and opinions are of my own. I own all the rights to my personal journey and to Your Journey is Not Over. Neither are to be used, copied, or edited in any way without my consent. Well, a lot happened my freshman year. Yes, that was all in 1 year. That year definitely was filled with a lot of battles, a lot of assignments, and a lot of challenges. Looking back, I'm just so grateful I never surrendered. I never gave up. Again, it's not in me. I have a strong will about me, so defeat is not in my vocabulary. I'm going to jump off of my personal journey again. Surprise, surprise. I tend to do that, and it's become a pattern of mine that I'm aware of. After I share something extremely difficult, I then write and throw in an episode that is off of my personal journey. Doing this podcast is not only hopefully helping others, but it's also helping me. It's very therapeutic for me to be able to talk about, to be open about and honest about my life, to own my life, not to be ashamed, not to hide it from the world, not pretend like it never happened. Not to sweep it under the rug. So I take a couple days before I write the episodes to what I like to call channel in to that particular time in my life, and to also reflect back on that period of time and to remember everything as it unfolded. It's very healing to go on what I call your yellow brick road, your healing journey. I won't ever say it's not painful, because it is. My way of seeing it, again, is you have to tear yourself all the way down in order to start day by day, sometimes minute by minute, to rebuild yourself into the best version of you, the healthiest version of you. And once I understood everything happened for me and not to me, well, things just got easier for me to understand. It's not the storms that we go through or the paths that we've had to travel. It's how you come out of those storms, or how you handle the travels on those paths. Everything is about learning lessons. Some really hard, hurtful lessons, and some amazing, wonderful lessons. There's always a balance. I want to talk today about self-love. When you begin your yellow brick road, your healing journey, well, the self-love journey is most definitely included. It has to be. You start reflecting and going on this journey that is going to take you back to some really hard memories. And again, hopefully some good memories too. Embracing all of the good and the bad, and reflecting and releasing and allowing yourself to heal. That's the key words there, allowing yourself. See what happened to me on April 6, 2024? Well, that was the devil trying to do what he has done my whole life. He was trying to get me to just give up and give my soul to him. He was trying to wear me down any way he could. He had worked on me, again, my whole life, and I had just kept getting right back up every single time. It's called God, it's called faith, and it's called perseverance. On April 6, 2024, he, the devil, pulled out his grand finale on me. It was that movie, and it was excruciating to watch. But the devil had worked me into this very weak and vulnerable position, and he had used all of my losses, my childhood traumas, my fears, and my abandonment issues to make me feel isolated and feel completely alone. This was the first time I'd been alone since I was 18 years old. Of course, I had my daughter shortly after high school, and then my youngest daughter 3 years and 9 months later. So I have always had my kids. When their dad and I divorced, I again had my kids. When they grew up and decided to move out, not both at the same time, thank goodness. But I had a dog, a little girl named Farah. And also, my youngest would come home and stay in her old bedroom often. So it was like I was never alone. After my husband passed away, I wasn't only grieving the life that we had and the life that we had planned together, spend more time together, travel, retirement plans. I was also faced with the fact and the fear of being completely alone. Living alone. Looking back on that now, I was petrified. I was scared out of my mind. Again, I didn't show it and nobody knew it. I hid it well. I can remember walking through my house saying to myself, how are you going to do this all by yourself? Countless times. I felt like that lost, scared, abandoned child all over again. Fear is the only word I can use to describe that feeling. Unsure of myself, second guessing everything I did, scared to make the wrong decisions. Every day with the grief and the fear combined, it was really hard. Then, of course, I started distracting myself from the pain, with other people, friends, family. I wouldn't turn down an invitation to lunch or to dinner or to a ball game or just to visit someone at their house. Again, it distracted me away from my pain, my grief, my fears. I kept myself busy, too busy to feel. And I released my tears and my fears alone. So nobody was witnessing my pain. And I would always throw myself into others, helping others, assignments that were sent my way. I have always been the person that gives what I always wanted or needed someone to give to me. So I give love, understanding, kindness, friendship, loyalty. I always try to uplift and help any way I can. Again, distractions to what was really going on in my life. As long as I was pouring into others' cup, I wasn't taking the time to see that my own cup was empty. A lot of people tend to do that. We sidetrack ourselves, just like people in society love to sidetrack or distract themselves by watching and judging and tearing others down. By doing that to others, it keeps themselves from looking at their own insecurities, their own flaws, their own imperfections. Projection and reflection. It's still the same. Only difference is one group of people distract themselves and use their energy to uplift others and to help others. And the other group of people distract themselves and use their energy instead of on themselves. They use it to degrade another human being in order to uplift themselves, make themselves feel better. Lessons I've had to learn the hard way. My grandma always seen the good in everyone. I've always said that even she could find something good in the devil. At least she would have tried to. So to be raised believing there is good in everyone, and I still believe that. I have just learned on my journey that there are a lot of people who are just like me. We all don't react to trauma or losses the exact same way. We are all unhealed version of ourselves and coping and doing whatever it is that we learn to get through, to survive, learn behaviors. Again, unhealed versions because nobody has ever stepped up and said, it's okay to embrace all that happened to you. It's okay to accept it and to learn from it. And most important, to release it. Remember, our souls signed up for this life, and we did so that we may learn the lessons intended for us to learn. And never ever forget, knowledge is power. Is it okay what we had to endure and overcome and survive? No, not at all. But we must face the fact that what happened, well, it happened and we can't change it. And it made us who we are. It taught us who we did not want to be like or who we did not want to become. Most cases, it taught us right from wrong. Again, lessons. Do we fall into cycles along our journey? Of course, it's all we know, all we are taught. But the true victory is not staying stuck in those cycles. The true victory is in seeing that we want better for ourselves, for our kids, and our grandkids, and all the generations after that. The change has to start with us. We heal our traumas and become the best version of ourselves, the healthiest version of ourselves. And we embrace all of what I like to call our imperfections. God didn't promise a life of no pain and suffering, but He did promise a life with His power, His peace, and His grace, and His love. Here's what I've chose to share today. I do not own the rights to this. It's just something I found while reading many books. It's called A Little Wrecked. They say that the moon was once a piece of the earth, a broken piece forced from her mother's body and cast into the darkness. But look at her now, perfect and glowing, whole. Something once scattered, newly formed. Something once wrecked, now complete on her own. Aren't we all a little scattered, a little wrecked? I look at her and I see hope. Here's something else I chose for today also. It's titled, Judgment Doesn't Come Easy, but Grace is Harder. Our flesh wants to form opinions about people based on appearances, mistakes, or rumors. But the Spirit within us calls us to see people through God's eyes, with compassion, mercy, and love. Instead of tearing people down with judgment, we are called to build them up with grace. Jesus never looked at someone and said, "You're too far gone." Instead, He ate with sinners. He forgave the broken and welcomed the outcast. He showed us that our job isn't to judge, it's to love. And the truth is, when you stand before God one day, He won't ask how many people you judge correctly. He will ask how well you love them. Again, I hope those help someone the way that they've helped me. We are each on our own individual journey. And yes, we have all been taken down different paths. We have all traveled different roads, but we are all going to arrive at the same destination, which is the healed, happy, best version, the healthiest version of ourselves. I claim it, and I hope you do too. I know I started out, sat down to write, and had self-love as my topic, and again, my pen just flowed. So I will try and discuss self-love Thursday. I truly think it's an important topic that most don't or won't discuss. I want to. And I want to say again to everyone that tunes in and follows me on my journey, thank you so much. I truly hope it helps others as much as it's helping me. Again, I'm forever grateful. This concludes my podcast for today. Please join me Thursday, listen in, and always remember, your journey is not over. God bless.
God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been